other things, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what we're doing. But I think it's good because sometimes we were talking about how kids will see a tool and they'll think like these are just for doing fractions. So I think it's good because then they can see that you can use them for other things besides just fraction stuff. So like a couple kindergarten-y, first grade stuff was just to let them explore. Like they've never seen these before. So like what can you do with it? And like the idea that I saw, like I remember last time I walked in on your planning, you guys were trying to figure out, well, how can we use these for multiplication, right? So the one idea that I saw was that, I mean, I know you guys have seen this before, but like in this order, they gave each one of them a number. So this is always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? So like younger stuff they can do, well, I know this is 1, they can just do whatever plus 1. So whatever and you can give them this sheet and label them all so that they know that like this size is always associated with the number 2. This is always associated with number 3. So they can do, well, you know, they can always just take their white one and do plus 1 with whatever it is.
And kindergarten's doing that right now.
Right. And then the other one that they could do with it, if they each have that numerical value, so like let's say, you know, blue is 9. They can do addition number sentences with it too. They can do 9 plus 1 equals, and then do their answer at the bottom, 10.
What are different ways to make 10?
Right. Yeah. And then how many ways can I make a 10? So, or they could do whatever. They could do addition and subtraction number sentences using all of them because they all end up equal. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 plus 3 equals 10. It's always going to come out equal. And then I found great ideas to do with even for your kids that need that background knowledge for stuff, fact families with it. So they can do, like, I made my little cheat sheet here. If the black rod is always going to be 7, what can I do to make 7? Well, let's see here.
Oh,
they're going to have to...
Is that a purple rod?
This one's supposed to be purple, yeah.
Yeah.
So see if you can figure out different ways. If black is 7, how can I make a fact family with it? So, I don't know. Well, that's equal, right? So what is this equal? This is 3 plus 4 equals 7. And then you can do 7 minus 3 equals, and they can make their fact families with just those 3 numbers. Right? So try another one, because sometimes it doesn't always come out
that's
equal.
What I was
so try
wondering.
one. Just pick a number. Pick 9, pick 8.
Equals. That's great.
That's on fractions right now. Sorry.
I know, but I think it's good though to show them like you can use the same tool for something.
I think it's really helpful. Like last year, I felt like I think it's hard to teach fractions and multiplication to them when they don't really understand the relationship, and it was hard to go back. I feel this year it's been easier to use these because the kids seem to have a background in them and understand the relationships a little better.
I think because we used them for multiplication this year,
and they're better with fractions.
That when we were doing them with fractions this week, they were like, oh yeah, I remember. And, you know, so...
And they love using error bars.
Right.
You know, and so I feel like, I mean, other than my IEP kids, everybody had a good grasp of that.
But that's why I thought was a good model for using the same thing, knowing that each one of those things has a specific value. So you know that this light green is 3. So they put out 8 3s.
Where did you get them?
I don't know. I just looked in a whole bunch of places.
Can
I think I
send that?
3 8.
I couldn't take a screenshot on my MacBook, so I took a picture of the screen. That's why it looks so bad. I think I found it on Teacher Pay Teacher or something, but it was like, you know, a whole pack of flip charts, and I just wanted that one screen.
That's a nice visual.
I can send it to you.
It is.
So pick another value. Pick
so here's 24.
Like do purple.
Okay.
So purple is 4. So what can you do if I do 4 times 5?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, what else can I do? So 4 times 5 is 20. So what else can
4 times 5 is
what else can I do?
2 times 10.
Right. So I could do 2 times 10, and they're the exact same length. Cool, right?
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Yeah. I wish I would have
I like it,
You know,
yeah.
what we did.
Right.
Right.
I like
Multiplication,
never too
right.
late.
Right.
Write it down for next year.
And show to make like the.
Well, that's what I said.
like
If we have that
32.
visual,
I like
that will remind me.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that. I mean,
And
we
then-
did do multiplication with it, but we didn't.
We just did it with 2s, 4s, and 8s, making the connection between doubling.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Not
you
those
can
higher
ask
numbers.
them-
I like all the different ways to make the 24.
And
Yeah.
then how many
Really
ways could you make 25, or how many ways could you
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
30,
Yeah.
or
And
Yeah.
that would help with area.
yep, I
Because
wrote
they
that down
had
because they
to-
can use
Right.
these to do if it's just a rectangle. They can use the white ones as one square unit, and if you print out something to scale, they can fill them in with all the little white ones or go around the edge. So, yeah.
That's such a vision. Just breaking it apart.
Right. So pick another number besides, what did you do? What's
I did
brown?
24.
So
Yeah.
do,
Do 32.
I do 12.
if I
12
do
is good.
30, let's see what I can do to equal 30. And you might have to mix up, like I know that there's supposed to be a certain number in each one, but they might have to mix them up to make, to multiplication
Right.
because
Get
there's
enough,
too
yeah.
many. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7's hard.
I'm thinking in my head I already know the answer, but like they'll have to just play with it and
Right.
figure it
And
out.
go, oh, well, that doesn't work.
And you can tell, like,
Yeah.
they can always use white. They probably, if it's an even number, they're going to be able to use red. So they could do 15 reds.
What she's done, she's numbers for squeezing her brush, so it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we did
And they're
when we
doing
did it with multiplication.
addition and multiplication.
They were
Yours
given
full.
specific values.
Because they're actually like to scale. And I'm like, show me 2 different ways that you can show me 1/3, because their holes are different. Or show me, and I differentiated
I like
it,
that.
so I gave every kid, like, some
Put
kids
it
I
in
gave
your
1/2. Probably. Some kids I
Is those in
gave.
the book? In that book?
No.
No, these are ones
Oh, no.
found or made when I taught 3rd grade,
Okay.
but I can copy them and give them to you guys.
That'd be great.
So I differentiated it. Like I gave some kids 1/2, I gave some kids 1/4, I gave some kids 2/3. You know, and then that's why I feel like it's important. I found I'll send it to you guys too. There's a cute little exploration sheet. It's just like take the rods, build something, and then write about what you figured out or what you discovered. And you can do that for any grade. 'Cause
Right.
the kindergartners are going to discover something else, and your 3rd graders are going to discover.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, they were very into the discovery. I jumped right in with my high group on Monday with these, and I just said, I just want you to explore, but I want you to be thinking about fractions.
Or how
And
many?
that's all I said,
Good.
and they were instantly like,
That playing.
I said, tell me when you make a discovery. So they were like, I have a discovery. And I was like, okay, everybody stop, let's listen. Okay. Oh, I have a discovery. Okay.
Right.
You know, so they, but that's them. They're able to do that, whereas, a lot of the other kids weren't.
Draw a rectangle.
Yeah. They couldn't even draw a rectangle.
Well, my low group, they were just very excited to make the equal parts, and what does that mean? What do you see there? And they were able to come up with the 3 pieces, and so I've just taught the high math so long that I'm ready to just dive into something else, and it's like I have to learn how to back up
Right.
and try to find the different ways to teach them
Yeah.
the simplistic
Yeah.
way.
I mean,
of
I
just,
think
yeah.
I like
Because I
that.
find this really exciting with the numbers and adding and dividing and multiplication, but I'm worried that I don't want to do that now. I don't know. Maybe
Why
with
do
the
you
high
say
group
that?
Well, because we're doing pattern blocks today. The curriculum's telling us that the next thing we need to do is geo boards, and
Plan with her for a day, because she sometimes when you get caught up in this is what the curriculum says, we're like, wait, stop. What's the check for understanding? These are sample lessons,
Let's
and
pick something better.
what
Yeah.
what do I think that my kids need to be able to do it? So if it tells you to do it in a certain way, go to the check for understanding and stop and pull back for a second and just be like, wait, what do they actually need to know how to do by the end of this lesson, regardless of whether I use pattern blocks or Cuisinart rods or whatever it is.
So if your kids need to do
Yeah.
Cuisinart rods again, they can do it.
Right.
And I think the least important manipulative of the week is the geo board.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
gonna
That one
that's
as well.
gonna that's gonna throw a lot of them for a loop, because you're moving the rubber bands and oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I think
I thought the
I mean, I
pattern
think
blocks
these
went really
and
well too.
I'm gonna do those today.
That's
I
I'm
did
gonna
them
do
yesterday.
No, you're
I
good.
thought they went
I mean, how
really
many
well.
times did we say yeah on that sentence?
Right.
The geo board.
Yeah, I like that lesson.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Right.
So the answer to when you can switch is when you can
Anytime.
tell they're comfortable. Well, no, I mean, I think if
I think
if they
you're
have
right,
it
you
in
do
them
get
to be
caught up in the
comfortable,
curriculum.
you can't do that for one day and go on to the next thing if they had no clue the first day, unless you decide that just doesn't work for them. But if you can see they have it in them and they didn't get it yet, I mean, I think they can have another day and
But
you
the
don't
thing
need to
that's
move
really-
on like the curriculum says on day 2. You can spend
And
2
you're
days
you know
still
what?
getting
instead
the
of
same
one.
The other thing
indicator.
It's like
is
1
with
minute
the-
left.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
with my
Right.
4 groups, pre-assessment showed nothing.
Yeah,
So with
that
the
was
4
fascinating.
groups now,
Didn't.
I'm noticing that, whoa, she needs to go, he needs to, you know, I have to redo my groups. I'm not really sure right at this point where they all lie.
And we shouldn't be after 2 days. We
But
just
that
started.
also tells you that you're doing guided math how it's supposed to be done. If your kids are moving around and you're
Right.
Yeah.
based on the information that they're getting, you're making adjustments to your instruction. That's exactly what it should look like. You know?
Right.
Okay, final thoughts, 1 minute.
Oh. Okay. We want copies of all your stuff.
Okay.
To go?
See, I don't always know what you guys have. There's a good game in here. This, I know that this is like a lot of words on one page, but there are just a lot of different things
that's
that
good,
you can
though.
do,
Nice.
Yeah.
and it goes from easiest to challenging. So if you are looking for stuff to do with your
Mm-hmm.
high group, then there's stuff in there, and then
First to finish.
the things that they discover with like mixed numbers when the things end up going over what their whole is, you know, and talking
Right.
about it. Because some of them will just look at it and say, well, it's not a fraction because it's, if this is my 1 and this is past it. Well, they can always use the whites to go back and break it apart and figure it out. Well, what's my, I guess we're not discussing mixed numbers anymore. What is the,
Fractions greater than 1.
fractions
No,
greater
there's
than 1?
mixed up fractions. Yeah, those are improper.
Right. Not
Yeah.
It's
improper
not
fractions.
improper.
The fraction greater than 1.
So,
Yeah.
Mixed
All
is okay.
fractions are proper.
Yeah.
Right. Mixed,
Mixed is
I don't
okay.
know.
Improper is
Not
not
improper.
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 Improper is
Right.
not
It is not
politically
proper.
correct.
No.
In MCPS.
In
In
And NCTM.
In the rest of the world, yeah.
No, not in NCTM either.
Oh. On Teachers Pay
Thank
Teachers,
you.
there's a ton of stuff
Yeah.
that says improper fractions.
Because it's-
Oh, I can't find
because
it.
it's old.
It was all helpful. Do you have
very-
this sheet?
yeah, no, I have
Yeah.
one of these for everybody, and pardon my like notes to myself. Sometimes it might make sense to me, but
Do you have any of the materials you have?